I'm Nicole King, and this is Marbella Now.
Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, 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 it's a brand new day. Halfway twisted.
I had the pleasure of presenting the Best Actor Award at the Marbella International Film Festival. And when I was there at the Euro Weekly News table, I met a lovely couple, Alan and Jenny. And joining me this evening is Alan, because he is part of something that has been created to help all those in need. It's called Simply Surviving. It's a great group at the moment on Facebook with Valerie Williams from the International Theatre Studio and Alan heading up these initiatives. So Alan, it's lovely to see you again. I thoroughly enjoyed our evening at the H10.
Yeah, it was a great night, wasn't it? And thank you for inviting me on the programme. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, that's what the programme's all about. It's Marbella Now, what's happening in Marbella now. And right now we've got a very solidaria, a very united community committed to helping so many that have suffered so much, particularly recently following COVID, not even during it, just what the repercussions, the fallout.
Yeah, I think there's a perception out there that now that the restrictions have largely been lifted and we look at the statistics that are coming out every day and they're improving, infection rates are falling, deaths, thank goodness, are almost off the scale now. We kind of think that things are back to normal, but there is this latent problem for a lot of people that haven't quite recovered yet. And it will take time. It may even take a year or two or more for some people to get back on their feet, or at least to get back where they were before the COVID pandemic hit.
So the idea behind this group is literally just to do things to collect money for different charities. Is that correct? So it's not like you're an association or a charity yourselves, but you are a committed group to getting money for charities.
That's the way that it's evolved. That was not the initial intention of Valerie Williams, who had the initial idea for Simply Surviving Group back in the autumn of 2020. Val saw that the entertainment sector along the Costa del Sol had been particularly badly hit because obviously entertainment venues were either closed down or severely restricted in their capacities, and that meant that the large number of professional entertainers or semi-professional entertainers had nowhere to go to play their wares, and for a lot of these guys that was their sole income. So she saw this and thought something must be done. And so she established Simply Surviving Group as a Facebook entity. But ironically, what she wanted to do to help these people in autumn of last year, she couldn't do for the very reason that they were in the soup in the first place, because entertainment venues were not able to open. So it was kind of put on hold really until early this year, until February this year. And I became available. My wife Jenny and I have a shop in Mijas Pueblo.
Oh, what do you sell?
We sell, well, the theme of the shop is semi-precious crystals,
oh, nice.
natural stones.
So energy, good vibes, you guys understand, oh yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we could tell you some stories about how our crystals have helped people through.
Well, maybe I'll get Jenny on next time to talk about the shop.
That would be a good idea, yeah. So, but the shop hasn't opened since lockdown last year, and we've committed pretty much not to opening until March next year, because you probably know that the winter months in Mijas Pueblo are relatively thin. Mm-hmm. But that happening, the shop closing, gave me the time to help Val, and she asked me to come on board, which I did. And the whole thing has really spiraled from there.
When I saw you the other evening at the gala for the Marbella International Film Festival, it was funny because the penny hadn't dropped that I'd actually had seen you before. I went to the theatre to see Evita, and then I dared run backstage to see if I could grab an interview with somebody. And you had been in the performance, and I asked for the young guy who'd organised it, Oliver, that had arranged everything. So I'd actually seen you, and I'd thoroughly enjoyed the performance. I love live theatre. Live performances, music, anything is just So invigorating. When did you get into the acting vibe?
Well, first of all, I'll never forget the moment when one of the cast knocked on the dressing room door and said, "Alan, there's a reporter here." And it was like, what? How did she get through? And there you were. But I mean, credit
I was right there.
You were right there, yeah. But credit to Oliver Labour, who was the director and also starred as Shay in the production of Abibita. He agreed to come straight out from...
He was magnificent.
From a very sweaty dressing room.
He was magnificent.
He was great, yeah.
With no prompting, with nothing. He was so good in the performance. It was the last night. So it was an amazing electric feeling backstage, and Oliver did. He came out and he chatted, and I encourage you all to go to the RTV Marbella YouTube channel or my YouTube channel to check out the interview, because it really was quite lovely. And that's what's so nice. Theatre is such an opportunity for particularly youngsters and adults to escape from the humdrum sometimes world of school or the office, to just be able to be and make believe. A lot of you get involved in, there's a lot of people involved in putting it together.
Yeah, I think probably the most important aspect of what you've just said is the children. Because at the theatre, children get involved from a young age, from as early as 5 or 6. And very often they stay involved to some extent or other until they are 16 and 17. And then rather frustratingly, a lot of them, because they want to pursue their dreams of being on stage or in theatre or whatever, they fly to the UK to pursue that dream.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Before we finish, quickly, any events coming up in particular over the next few weeks, or can we just follow your Facebook page, Simply Surviving, to support you? How can we support there?
Well, yes, we have a program of events monthly. The way that the events go at the moment is that we have a major dinner with entertainment, which normally draws between 100 and 140 people. And we do a deal with the venue. We don't get every penny out of them, because one of our raison d'etre is to help the entertainment.
I can support everybody.
venues.
Everybody needs support right
now.
now.
Yeah, absolutely. And we invariably invite a local entertainer, a top Costa del Sol entertainer, and we pay them a decent fee. And then the people get a great night's entertainment, and a nominated charity each month, a different charity each month, then benefits from any funds that are raised in the evening.
Absolutely excellent, and I invite anyone who's watching and your friends to do similarly. Just organise an event to raise money for a different charity, the charity of your choice. Don't go away, because we'll be back after a short break. Alan, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure to see you again. I'm sure it's the first of many times.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Well, as I say, don't go away.
Judy likes to consider herself a clever young woman, which is why she thought very carefully before choosing her insurance company. Now that she needs it, she's jolly glad she chose Linear Director, as it looks as if she might have something better to do. Why don't you be clever, like Judy? Call Linear Director on 952 14 78 34 and see which policy is best for you.
When I'm the designated driver, I think it's only fair that I get to choose a zero-hero venue that rewards me with free soft drinks. My friends all get to choose and booze, and they feel safe going home with me. Make sure that you get your reward for being the designated driver. Why pay if you don't have to?
Everyone that comes and wants to join our Zero Hero Association, they will have free non-alcoholic drinks at our venue at any time.
Hi guys, Ross here from Hoganstown. Proud to be a member of the Zero Hero campaign. And we recommend everybody, nobody drives drinking. Everybody who drives a car doesn't have any alcohol in their system, and we're proud to sponsor the Zero Hero program.
G-Wine is happy to be Zero Hero partner.
How cool is that? G-Wine.
Thank you.
Clara
okay.
are proud to present Zero to Hero. Never drink and drive.
Hey, hey.
Welcome back. Absolutely fabulous to introduce you guys to Alan Boardman and the incentive of Simply Surviving together with Valerie Williams that they're doing to help all the different charities and all the people who need it most. Please do go along to their Facebook page and see how you can participate in their different events. Joining me now is Kezia Kaur, and she is awesome. I met her at a Grapevine lunch organised by Cindy Barnes. Kezia was the speaker. Unfortunately, I arrived late, but I just knew that I had to meet this woman and arranged to meet her the next day, and I went with my camera and did a little recording. But today, I'm very pleased to say that Kezia is joining us here at the Radio Television Marbella Studios. Hi, Kezia, so nice to see you.
Lovely to be here, Nicole.
It's,
Thank you for inviting me.
You have a great energy. I know that you have an amazing history here in Marbella. You've done some amazing projects that we will all know once we talk about them. But it's just so nice to have a moment to actually get to know a little bit more about you, because just looking at you, you're so exotic. I mean, so can we start there? And it's a horrible, stupid English thing, where are you from? But where are you from? What's your story?
Okay, so I was born in India, arrived in cold London on a very snowy, I think 26th of December, hardly ever seen snow in my life, 6 years old, and then spent all my sort of young years until 27 in London. So I was educated in England and then moved to Marbella. I think I was 27 and came for 6 months, and 32 years later, still here.
It's contagious. I mean, it's like, really, Marbella is the most contagious thing there is.
It is.
What was it at that time that attracted you?
I've been coming on holiday, and I honestly, I've always been an entrepreneur, and I started very young, around 23, with my first sort of boutique and beauty salon. So I was kind of my parents were in the fashion business, and I was doing makeup and stuff like that. And I just honestly, it was as simple as got fed up with the rainy weather and thought, you know what, this rain every day, fog, whatever. And I decided to move here for 6 months.
What year was that?
1987.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was sort of in the heyday
That's the year
of the
I left.
80s. Yeah,
for a while.
It was actually a great time to be here. It was, things were going very well here. It was everybody was doing well. There was a great vibe. I didn't know anybody.
It was very much a party city that time.
Yeah.
It's very much family now.
Yeah.
And that's grown because those of us who've been here, I suppose, have brought our families up here.
And the reason I was actually going to leave after 6 months is exactly that. It was a bit party, and I wanted, being a good Indian girl, I wanted to get married, have kids. And so I thought maybe it's not for me. And on the very last week that I was leaving, I met my ex-husband and got married, had children, raised them here, and it's been the best thing I ever did.
Raising them here back in those years, we didn't have the schools that we have now.
No.
So how did you focus that? Because there's the Spanish system, but it's very different to our British system.
Yeah.
And without realizing it, sometimes we can not make mistakes, but take different avenues.
It is challenging, and I actually probably had my children at most of the schools. So in a way that was, it was trial and error. Eventually we found the right schools. One of my children has special needs, so it was a bit more challenging. But thankfully for Aspanden, who I owe a lot to, who are the charity centre here for children with special needs, it was fantastic. And eventually each child found the school that was right for them, made wonderful friends. So through the schools you do make amazing friends, and your friends then become your family. So,
And at that time, what were you doing? Were you doing beauty? What was the thing
Yeah,
that
I
inspired?
started off, before I left England, I was very involved with helping women and women's rights. So I was involved with support groups for sexual abuse, domestic violence. It's just been something very close to my heart. I've had a friend who, my teenage years were sexually abused, so that cause was like a big thing for me. Then I studied counseling and coaching way back then. It wasn't even called coaching, but I studied counseling, holistic psychology. I got very into the yoga world, being Indian, but also just naturally. And then when my youngest child had an accident, I couldn't obviously have a big career, so I had to stay at home. So I studied beauty therapy very quickly and started to do treatments. But I found actually very early on that my calling was much more for healing. So I started with Reiki and chakras and balancing, but the mind was my biggest love and still is today. And
But you qualified in therapies and this coaching, you say, but
Yes.
we were talking because for the United Nationalities of Marbella Summit on the 18th of November at the Harbour Restaurant here in Marbella, one of our main subjects, and it's curious because how things come out, and we'll talk about the special needs separately afterwards now that it's come up, but we were talking about we want to establish this 24-hour helpline for those who feel vulnerable. It needs to be 24 hours because we don't get depressed from 9 till 5. That's just how it is. There's an enormous increase teen suicide between 14 and 24 of 600% the year before COVID. And when we were chatting about this and you came out with, I'm qualified, I can participate, I'm willing to volunteer, we don't know really who's sitting next to us. And as I know you as the beauty aspect, but there is just so much more.
The beauty aspect was very much in my 20s and 30s, and I still sort of will do facials and healing treatments. Almost everything I do will have a touch of mental health attached to it, because just as soon as I ask someone how they're feeling, and just because the environment we're in, they do tend to share. And so once we start sharing them, my counseling skills, my coaching skills come out, the healing skills come out. Most people, and even way before COVID, but especially during COVID, you know, there's been a lot of obviously isolation, and there's a lot of loneliness, there's been depression. Depression, anxiety are two of my big subjects. And, you know, they're not just for this group. It affects everybody, from a small child to a 90-year-old, you know, so it's across the board, and you never know, because many times people are able to fake it till they make it, kind of thing. And sometimes that's also dangerous, because, you know, they
That's a good one, fake it till they make it. You see somebody that looks so perfect on the outside,
Absolutely.
you would have no idea that they are just crumbling underneath.
And this is so common. I mean, we're talking hundreds and thousands and millions of people who on the face of it are laughing and I'm fine and I'm good, but underneath when they go home they have such anxiety.
Don't you think
such
social
fear.
media is a lot to answer for this, because it makes everyone, even if they're standing in their garage or in a bathroom, the room's a mess, you can make everything look like you're in some kind of palace, and it makes you feel everyone like they're missing out, that everyone is okay except themselves.
And I think the problem with that is it's a snapshot. You don't know what they were doing half an hour before or what they're doing half an hour later, but we start comparing. And that's the biggest danger, and especially with teens and young adults. And especially now with COVID, there was a guarantee before. You went to uni, you went to college, you got a job. Now they're stuck, they don't know. Plus also, most of their friends are people they've never met. So there is this loneliness building in. I know firsthand from someone very close to me how that can trigger into huge anxiety and then suicidal thoughts. And you feel like you're so alone. And my message really today is you're not alone. There are so many people just like you who are suffering just like you. So reach out, talk to somebody. There are so many people here to help.
My guest a couple of weeks ago is Benjamin Wickham, is the son of the Euro Weekly News, the owners of the newspaper. The last person one would think financially insecure, but not, because obviously they live off advertising and no one's doing advertising if nothing's open. And he's got young boys, one also with special needs. And that feeling of being alone, and that you shouldn't tell anyone because you're meant to be able to cope. You're a grown-up, you're a father, you're whatever. And I think that is such a shame, because I think everybody goes through a moment of despair, and we shouldn't be ashamed to say we need help. Benjamin didn't know where to call, and he only called an ambulance when it was already in it. I think one of the missions of United Nationalities, not necessarily just to create a helpline, but I'm already researching existing ones and try and add an international aspect to it and get it to be 24 hours. There's no point us fighting separately, or not fighting, but striving separately to get the same mission. And I know that some Rotary clubs are supporting Agárrate Como Puedas, which is una asociación para que te agarres a la vida. Agárrate a la vida. Esa es la asociación. Hold on to life.
And
so I think it's very much prevalent subject at the moment.
It is, and we've got to come together. You know, look at the people who are perhaps being that little bit more quieter than usual. Start thinking, you know, who hasn't been in touch recently? Look at your neighbors, you know, community, go back to community. It's so, so important. People often have shame, and there's no reason to have shame. You know, you'll be surprised if you actually tell someone.
Shame and guilt.
Shame and guilt.
Normally misplaced.
Yes, and normally once you start sharing, there'll be me too, I feel that, oh my God, me too. And it's going to be almost every other person you speak to, because it's affected everybody. And, you know, anxiety is I don't want to call it a disease, but the way the life we live and this huge change we've had, it's normal. What I actually want to tell you is that it's normal not to feel okay. Just for a short while. I mean, then you've got to find the tools. Then you've got to ask for help, and then you've got to practice. But there is help out there. There's a lot of help. And nowadays, a lot of counsellors, myself included, are doing Skype, WhatsApp calls, Zoom calls. So there's a lot of availability. And so there is help out there for everybody.
It's absolutely awesome, and I'm so grateful that you volunteered
Absolutely.
to participate in the call line. We've already got a couple of professionals, because it's important that it's qualified professionals. If anyone's thinking of taking their life, as much as I would want to help them, it's not my position to be able to say anything, because it could be the wrong thing. You need to be qualified. But in the meanwhile, you can watch out for people.
Yes,
you can give them a shoulder to cry, and you can ask if they're okay.
Yeah, and then guide them to the professionals that can help them, because we're taught how to talk somebody down from suicide, how to really capture the emotions, get them to, you know, talk to us, to trust us, and little by little we can help them.
Fabulous. Oh, it's such an important subject, but obviously it's one that we're not sitting going, he,
No.
which I do like to do, but we have to keep a balance. Particularly as a community program, the most important objective is for us to connect, find out more about each other, to see how we can support each other, because we don't have to be successful in spite of someone else. We'll probably be better off if we do it together with somebody else. Please do reach out. We're going now to some road traffic safety messages, because if you are the designated driver, you will get free soft drinks in participating venues that include the casino, the harbour restaurant, the playwright. I mean, there's just loads of places. Go to zerohero.es for full listings and listen to some of the messages from those venues that are taking part, because really it's just a positive way of reminding you that drinking and driving is really not good, particularly with all those tourists running around and have no idea which side of the road to go on, etc. Don't go away, because we're back with Kezia just after this.
Sometimes it's nice to just get lost in the moment without a care in the world.
However, if something does come up and you find you're actually lost, it's also nice to know that you can call Linear Director to come and find you. Call Linear Director on 952 14 78 34 to see how they can better your life too.
Zero Hero, welcome here at the Gaucho de Banús.
Welcome to Lemongrass, Doña Lola. Thank you very much.
Zero Hero, welcome to Portofino, Cabo Pino.
Hi guys, Kazatua is proud to welcome the Zero Heroes. So come on in and enjoy free soft drinks for anyone who is the designated driver. Thank you, Nicole.
Welcome back with myself, Nicole King, and Kezia Kaur. We've been talking about suicidal thoughts and how, as a community, we need to support each other. In fact, our show very much this week is about that. We had Alan Boardman on at the beginning of the show talking about Simply Surviving, a group that has being created simply to help other charities and people in need in these difficult times. There is no shame in needing help, and there should be no guilt. And similarly, which sounds a silly thing to say, looking after ourselves and spending time on ourselves should be equally as important. And I found that out because Kezia, as she was saying before, is a beauty therapist specialist as well as everything else. And I had the pleasure of going for a massage and a facial, and I can honestly say, one, that I never really do that, but two, when I have done it, I've never had something like that. That was quite unique. And it was a quite condensed, give me a mix, because you wanted me to experience.
It was a cocktail.
It was a cocktail.
You had
but
a cocktail.
As you said, it was, I think the new word is holistic.
It's holistic. Yes. So it involved a lot of healing, chakra balancing. We have 7 chakras, so we were trying to see.
Okay, okay. Going to take advantage of this because everybody is meant to know everything. And again, this is where I don't agree. I would really appreciate, although I look on YouTube and everything, can you please just quickly explain what are the 7 chakras, what they mean, and those colors, and why it's important?
Okay, in a very simplified, they are your energy forces in your body, and they start from the base of your groin, and then you've got 7 different ones all the way up. And each chakra represents something different. So it's a bit long to go into all of them, but just in layman's term, that when they're spinning this way, everything is good. If you think in life, everything goes clockwise, everything's wonderful. If they're spinning the other way, it means you may have blockages or things aren't quite right. So when I'm doing a healing, I do, because my grandmother was a healer, so I started when I was about 11. So a lot of my, I call it, massage treatments or aromatherapy, but everything involves a healing. So it can be Reiki, which is also a wonderful way of healing. Often the combination of Reiki, energy, chakra energy, reflexology, all of these things add to your well-being. And the chakras are pivotal because if your chakras are blocked or they are not quite healthy in whichever way, and there's blockages, it's very important to unblock and very important for you to be aligned so that you have optimum well-being. So that's what we work on. And
the intention also, as I understand it, because everything's energy.
Yes.
We're energy, we vibrate.
Yes, yes.
So the intention that's done with it, and I think that's where, particularly as I am sensitive to energy,
yes,
I could really feel that it was the intention you were putting it in the sense of you wanted me to feel better,
yes,
and you were kind of like tuning in to see what you needed to do at the time.
And that's the key. It's really very simple. People complicate it. Say, oh my God, how do I heal? How do I do? My youngest son, when he was maybe 3, he would rub his hands together and go like this if somebody had fallen over in the playground and just say, oh, I hope he feels better, or wishing him better. That's enough. That's
It
healing.
happened to me a month ago. My 3-year-old granddaughter, I had a big slice on my toe, really big, deep cut.
Gosh.
And she saw it and she just came up and because she sees me, and she put her hands over and she says, Sana, sana, corrido verana, which is a little Spanish thing you say like, oh, boo-boo, there.
But it's a natural
and she put her hands over it. It's only a couple of weeks later I said to my daughter, oh, you should have seen it, it was so funny. Lake came up to me, saw the boopa, and she put this on to cure me. And my daughter said to me, and? So I looked at my foot, there wasn't even a scar.
Yeah, it's
that intention, pure
and it's
intention.
all about intention. And honestly, if you just from your heart wish somebody best of health, positive thoughts, positive energy, a beautiful, abundant life, that is healing. It isn't complicated. Of course, you can learn Reiki, you can learn the chakras, you can learn many things, but every single person watching this, your program today, can heal.
Self-talk plays a big part there, in the sense of, if 80% of our body is water, and water is vibration, it has memory, and please look up water, and look at the experiments they've done with the crystals of water.
It's amazing.
We'll go into that another day.
Yes.
But when we say things like, oh, I'm so stupid, or I'm such an idiot, or why can I never do this, or I'm bad at math, everything we say to ourselves is basically telling our bodies how to react.
Totally.
So part of our well-being comes from controlling our self-talk.
Totally. Everything starts up here. We have between 5 and 60,000 thoughts a day. So one of the things I teach is be wary of your thoughts. Choose your thoughts, your words wisely. That takes practice a little bit, because the common thing can be, like you just said, someone says, oh my God, I'm so bad at this. I'm so stupid. I'm not good enough. Me included, because I'm a
I think we're all guilty.
I'm a technophobic, and I've spent years saying, oh, I'm so rubbish on the computer. I can't do this. And so therefore that became my script. I can't do that. So therefore, I considered myself stupid in that particular area. That's not true. There are people who do it better, and they're the experts, so go to them, or we can learn. But this self-critical talk is so damaging. We need to be more gentle with ourselves.
And that includes looking after our bodies, and people go to the gyms and all kinds of things, but our body, our skin is the largest organ that we have.
Absolutely.
And when you were just in shock, and like, it's funny because when I stay with my lovely friend Book Lucy and Vivi, Lucy has a very rigid system of taking off her makeup and this, and she went and bought me all the stuff.
Yes.
And I've been following the regime.
Yes.
But even so, I've been doing that for 2 months now. You were like, normally this would last 10 minutes, and 2 minutes later it's like, okay, slap some more on. It's very important that we don't feel guilty, and I think a lot of working mothers, we learn to just put ourselves aside. We're not even in the picture. You've got to do other things. But to include ourselves, time to relax, time to pamper, and it's not as a pamper, it's just physical needs.
It's not a luxury. This is what I want also to tell people. Looking after yourself is not a luxury. Taking time for yourself is as important as anything else. If you don't invest in yourself, in your well-being, your emotional bank account, your well-being bank account, you have nothing to give. Same as the bank account with money. If there's nothing in there, you have nothing to give. So invest in yourself, because the biggest gift you give yourself and others. So if you are calmer, if you are more at peace, if your mind is more clear, if your thoughts are more positive, first and foremost, your immediate family benefit, then your friends, and then locally, and then globally. So really, it's so important to cultivate that.
Okay. My friend Masha Malkar, also professor at the Marbella International University Centre and speaker, as is Kezia at the United Nationalities of Marbella Summit on the 18th of November. She's very much in the sense of what you're saying. This is very important. She takes massages and says with pride, I'm going for massage, I need this. It's not a luxury, it's what I need. When we come to you, Kezia, what would you recommend in the sense that, just say, I think I'm quite average, maybe a bit more lax than others, but quite average in not paying myself. What would you recommend? How often, and what would you recommend that one does and comes to see you for example?
The first thing is obviously I assess really the whole person. Is it more a mental thing that's going on? Are they depressed? Are they anxious? And then we might go to counselling and coaching, much more counselling. If it's that they're exhausted, they haven't had a break, they've been working, or looking after their kids and running around and just wearing 10 different hats, especially women and men. I'm very much for men's mental health too, and men's well-being.
We expect a lot of them.
Yes, and we do. There's a lot of demand, and I really am an advocate for men's mental health as well. But coming back to your question, so it's very important to see, what does the client need? What is their most needed thing? So often they're exhausted, mentally and physically.
Yesterday you were going to do one thing with me, the facial, and then suddenly, without saying anything, like, I think we're going to just do a little cocktail, a combo.
I always just go by my intuition and my instinct, and I'm a little bit guided. So I might think I'm going, but then, with you, we did a cocktail. So we did aroma massage, we did some chakra balancing, we did some healing, reflexology a little bit, we did a lovely facial, and,
I floated out of it, what can I say? I was just like, okay, all right.
So, sometimes a cocktail is needed, but the biggest thing is for someone to allow themselves permission to make time for themselves. It is so important, and no guilt. This is actually, what you're doing is giving to yourself. It's not a luxury. This is the best investment you make on yourself, and that only can make everything around you better. You come out of there calmer, more energized, and all of that registers the next day with your work, with your career, with your relationships, with your children. You even eat better, because when you're happier, everything else functions. People often say health is the most important. Yes, it is, but equally being happy. So when you have happiness, you tend to want to exercise. You want to go to the gym. You want to go for your walk in nature. You want to eat healthily. You are more inclined to be wanting to think more positive. So all of that adds to a much better you. And from there, you can only fly high.
When I first met you, it wasn't actually thinking back at Cindy Barnes' Grapevine Lunch. I'd actually met you at Masha Malkar's Girls Get Together.
Yes.
And at the time, and we're going back a few years, similarly, I was going through separation, big changes. You had Shanti Som, which is a name, as I said at the beginning of the program, that anyone who's here knows. It was the most exquisite well-being centre.
It is, yes.
And yet we went through hell and back, but you faced it.
Yes.
And I suppose all the things that you've known and you applied, because you've come back very quickly and very strongly.
Yeah, I think, you know, I'm sure every person watching your program has suffered some kind of loss. And often people think loss is loss of a person, but actually sometimes loss of your dreams, loss of a business, loss of a career. For me, Shanti-san was my baby. And the loss that happened, yeah, I'm a very strong person. It totally destroyed me for a number of years for different reasons. But what you have to do one day is to have acceptance, adjust. There are the 3 A's: accept, adjust, accommodate. And then you have to find your new dreams. You have to go forward. It still exists. It's my flagship. I'm so proud of it. It was my dream for 20 years. And then we move forward.
Exactly. Yeah? Life is change.
Life is.
And it's important to change. Don't change the channel, because we're going to a quick break, but we'll be back again with Kezia just after this.
Alright guys, so I'm the designated driver tonight, so I'm going to choose the Zero Hero place. So all of my soft drinks are for free. And if you want to go somewhere else, just check out the Facebook, Instagram or the zerohero.es website for any of the bars, discotheques or restaurants on there. I'm happy to go anywhere you want to go, as long as it's Zero Hero.
So here we are at Everest. Very cool.
Yeah.
Stickers going up.
Hiya, my name is Govinda. I'm from Everest. Welcome to Zero Hero, to Everest Fusion, to enjoy your cocktails, drinks, and happy hour as well. And food, of course, is delicious. Thank you.
Welcome to Sister Taperia. Perfecto.
McNulty's is proud to be a Zero Hero partner.
Welcome back. We're chatting with Kezia about all kinds of stuff. In the first part about depression, suicidal thoughts, and how we need to help ourselves feel better. And then we were talking about making sure we feel better, and we can do that with massages and getting ourselves facials, a little bit of aromatherapy, Reiki, and Kezia has a whole setup of well-being, Kezia's Wellbeing Centre, which is absolutely fabulous, and I've tried it personally, and I really was impressed. I feel quite light. It's like, because I'm very big on light and needing the right light from feeling happy and active, and that was the adjective I used when I left. Yes, I felt light, and a weight had been lifted. So really, please do look after your physical well-being as well as your mental well-being. Now, one of the things that does influence in our mental well-being is loneliness. And a lot of people, when they get older, or they're divorced or widowed, or they haven't found the right partner yet, can feel very lonely. And they can feel that everyone around them is happily married and there's just no hope. Well, there is, because another thing, I've got goosebumps. Like, sign me up. So another thing that Kezia started is this Rendezvous, exclusive dating for singles, widowed, divorced.
Yes.
If you're looking for friendship, companionship, or just love. Kezia, I'm so excited. It's a great incentive, as I say, whether it's just for friendship or it's finding the love of one's life.
Absolutely.
How are you going to do this? And what's he like? Is he rich? But is he nice? And is he going to make me laugh?
Kind, sense of humor, wonderful human being, supportive. Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing how the idea of Restaurant Rendezvous came about, because everything that I do, and many healers like myself and therapists down here on the coast and worldwide, it comes from a place of love. And really, if you don't have love and if you don't have passion and purpose about caring for people, it's not it can be a business, but it can't be first and foremost a business. You have to have that inside you, that you care, that you want to make a difference, you want to contribute. And so I started to see, okay, there's Kezia Wellbeing, and I've got, you know, the beauty part is very small actually. It's a lot to do with mental health. It's a lot to do with the healing, the counseling and coaching. And nowadays everybody is doing it by Skype and Zoom. So that's wonderful, and it's working incredibly well. But I'm a true romantic. I've been matchmaking since I was 14 years old in the playground, then at college, then at, you know. So I was thinking, and I thought, what a lot of people are really fed up with the apps, and they do serve a purpose. They're fantastic for the time they were, and they probably still are. But there has been a lot of negative publicity.
I don't trust them in the sense of,
No.
I'm not saying I wouldn't like to find someone, but I certainly don't
No.
feel tempted to go and swipe right.
And also, I think for certain age groups, it's alien. It's completely alien, and technology and all of that.
I'm just quickly going to say, my eldest daughter found the man of her dreams swiping right, so
yeah,
there
that's what I'm
are
saying.
exceptions to every rule.
No, and I absolutely don't want to say something against the apps. It's just recently there has been, it's been maybe too much. There's too many apps. There's too much of swiping left and right. There's too much of writing hi and then nothing back, or writing great long emails investing and nothing back, or scams, which is the sad part at the moment.
Yeah.
And that the scams are touching the vulnerable. So perhaps someone's been recently widowed, or they were married 35 years and they don't even know how to date, and they meet somebody online. It could be, I'm not saying it is, but it could be that it doesn't turn out so well. So my partner and I came up with the idea of Restaurant Rendezvous, which is basically taking dating offline and put it back where it belongs, which is face-to-face. So we're going to organize lunches, dinners, mix and mingle, happy hour, so lots of things. And then from that, we'll also organize things like maybe climbing La Concha, group of single people together. So you also get to see your person in different environments, maybe making a paella on the beach, being competitive or not, or a sports event, going off to maybe see the Alhambra. You know, so there'll be lots and lots of other things. The first, it will start with lunch or dinner. You know, maybe in a group, maybe one-to-one, where the two people together.
So you're basically, it's growing organically.
Yes.
You've just launched the website, which
Yes.
is quite lovely.
Yes.
It really looks very inviting. It looks very reassuring. Obviously, I think a lot of people like myself in the sort of, to have someone vetted
Yes.
before you start, which is, I think, where you're coming from,
Yes.
that you're going to see who's in the group. It's not just going to be, like a lot of groups, even from Marbella, dating online,
Yes.
and you don't know who you're going to bump into.
Yeah,
And
it's very exclusive. I don't mean that in a horrible way. It's more that it's selective. So the big thing that makes our USP is that people have to fill in a profile form. Me being a counselor, a holistic psychologist, I will go through that, a relationship counselor, and I will look at the whole history of their dating life and their relationship life. You know, perhaps it's someone who's been married a long time, like I said, is scared like crazy to even go on a date, hasn't been on a date. Or somebody, I had a lovely lady, she's 72, and she joined recently, and she said, I don't even know what to wear. So I said, look, we'll go shopping, we'll go to El Corte Inglés, we'll do an image makeover, and then I need my little things on my face. Well, if you need a little Botox, we'll help with that. If you just need a makeup lesson, we'll do that. Hairdresser, so we'll help with everything. But it's really, really important that it's vetted.
see, that's lovely, because it's a full service
full
in the sense
service.
of not just set you up, but how
No,
can I
no,
help
no.
you optimize who you are?
Absolutely.
Which is where the Kezia part comes in.
Absolutely.
Because again, it's holistic, it's everything you are, putting it into seeing how you can then
Yes.
make it easier for somebody else through your experience.
Absolutely. And somebody, you know, may have been through a traumatic divorce. So first of all, it's like, there's no way I'm dating, or they've, you know, so first we've got to deal with the trauma. We've got to get them healed. There may be someone who's had sadly a bereavement, and especially with COVID, there's a lot of people, sadly, that have lost somebody. So first we've got to also deal with the bereavement, but then get them excited that there is a new chapter in life. And I think that it's all about hope, giving people hope. A 40-something who maybe has, you know, not met that soulmate yet, and you know, so again, it's showing that there are amazing people out there. There's 6 billion people in the world, and there's someone for everyone. We just have to believe, have hope, and you know, and with our help, we hope everyone to help find someone.
I'm sure it's just a lovely concept. I'm so excited for me.
Thank you.
If you would like more information about the Kezia Wellbeing Centre and all the fabulous treatments, or you would like to take part of the Rendezvous restaurant, which is a great one, do sign up. Just go to the website, sign up, and then you will have Kezia Court in person. You will also be able to hear Kezia talk at the United Nationalities of Marbella Summit on the 18th of November. It's being held at the Harbour Restaurant in the Marbella Marina. And because of the COVID and the restrictions, we will only be allowed to have about 100 people there. If you do want to come, it's already over half sold out, because people who want to help with youth, career opportunities, internships, because we can't just educate them well.
No.
We've got good schools now, but we have to offer them career opportunities for them to stay, so Marbella doesn't die and get old.
Absolutely.
We have to give them real contracts. We have to give them counselling and the psychological support that they need. We'll also be doing something for our firemen, and we'll also be launching the Marbella Love Mugs incentive to support our local artists and charities, and that's very exciting, doing that together with Nina Nolte, guest in last week's programme, and so much more. Do check it out. We're going now to a quick break. Kezia, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I have enjoyed this immensely. I feel like I know you a lot better now.
Thank you. Me too. Thank you so much.
And we'll be back in just a few moments, so don't go away.
Everyone that comes and wants to join our Zero Hero Association, they will have free non-alcoholic drinks at our venue at any time.
So here we are at Everest. Very cool.
Yeah.
Stickers going up.
Hiya, my name is Govinda. I'm from Everest. Welcome to Zero Hero, to Everest Fusion, to enjoy your cocktails, drinks, and happy hour as well. And food, of course, is delicious. Thank you.
Welcome to Sister Taperia. Perfecto.
Welcome back. I'm Nicole King, and joining me now is the gorgeous Monique of Monique New Age Beauty. Welcome to the program, Monique. I'm so happy to finally get a moment to chat with you.
Oh, thank you. I'm so pleased to be here.
It was Monique contacted me, and I didn't have a chance to reply, and then a few days later, or that day, I was sitting down with Serrano Filipescu of Biomagnetism at Marbella, and suddenly this beautiful blonde comes up to talk to me, and was like, what? And it was Monique. So thank you for coming to actually introduce yourself. That was a nice detail. It was a nice touch.
Thank you, thank you.
So Monique, tell us a little bit about yourself, because I know you have your beauty centre. I know that you do quite unique treatments, which we'll talk about in a moment. But where are you from, and how come you're here?
How long you want me to go back?
Go back. Go back.
Let's go 2003.
Okay.
Okay. So 2003, I opened my spa and gym in Sweden. I worked for many years, and then my mother was here. I come and visit her all the time, like 3 or 4 times a year. I was thinking, no. I packed my bags and I moved to Spain. I came here. I worked in Banús in one beautiful shop for many, many years. And then everything changed because of the COVID, so everything was closed. And I was thinking for a long time, what I will do when our life go back to normal. I was thinking I will do something I really love. So I opened a small clinic in Marbella.
It's funny how many people have decided since lockdown, and I include myself, that from now on I really only want to do things I love.
Exactly.
And there are a lot of things that I've done for years out of obligation, commitment, thinking one should do that, it's the right thing to do. And although helping others, without considering, but is it making me happy? It might be fulfilled, I might be proud of what I'm achieving, but am I happy? And I think that's the big thing now, isn't it? Doing what makes us happy.
Yeah, I was happy when I had my spa and my gym in Sweden. I don't say that I was unhappy working in Banús. No,
but not fulfilled.
But not really what I want to do. So finally now I'm doing what I love to do.
So tell us, where is the clinic?
It is in the center of Marbella. Very easy to find. Actually, for the guys, it's maybe more easier than for the girls. It's where the Harley Davidson.
It's right behind Harley,
yeah.
right next to Harley Davidson.
Yes, it is, and it's small. From the beginning, it will be very small. I don't want to have anything big till I know that I'm spreading my wings. And we do. I do from facial to body. Cupping, massage.
So a lot of people, when you talk about the different treatments you offer, I think we feel expected that we're meant to know what they actually mean. So I'm going to go back there. Cupping, what is it and what is it for?
Cupping, there is different types of cupping. You can cup your face.
It's like a suction cup, isn't it?
Yes, you can do it manual or with the machine. It's forming your face. It activates blood circulation. You can do it on your whole body. It's good for the sunlight, and but there is other cupping. The cupping, have you seen on television when they have red marks? The guys who are swimming or the guys who go to the gym. This is different cupping. So before you go and come to me or go whatever, you have to ask which cupping are you going to do. Is this for the slimming, or is it for because you have pain? There is many other, different cuppings.
See, this is why we need to ask questions, because
Yes.
I think often we feel that we are stupid if we don't know what things are, but it's the opposite. An intelligent person doesn't assume they know everything, and you need to ask questions. So one needs to be careful what type of cupping and for the
Yes.
reasons.
Yes,
Are there
and for
any possible side effects from the beauty cupping?
Number one, you should, if you come to me, you have free
Consultation.
Compensation.
As
Consultation,
well.
yes.
She's not charging for the conversation.
No, nothing. I want to explain because I need also to understand why you come to me. Not only call me and say, listen, I would like to have a cupping, okay, but which type of the cupping? Side effects of the cupping. Bruises. If you have really problems with your back or arms or legs, but on the face is a different cupping. That's why it's misunderstanding.
So it's a more delicate process.
Very delicate. And if I see that my client is very delicate, I don't even use the machine. I'm doing by my hands. It's manual cupping. So there is so much.
And is that a popular treatment? Is that
For
something
the moment,
that you find very
yes.
effective? Because I saw some great posts that you do, and I saw this lady there with this cups on her bum.
Ah, that's a different
and
thing.
it looked so painful. And then you turned out that the lady was like 70-something. She had an amazing body.
72 years old,
And she had an
and she
amazing
wants
body.
to lift her bump.
So you're basically, what is it, stimulating the muscles? Is it just, what does it do?
Yeah, for the first, you have to make a very hard massage. I think massage is more uncomfortable than the cupping because it hurts a little bit. You have to push all the fat, all the cellulite into the cup, and then normally they fall asleep. They don't feel nothing. It's just sucking up, and everything is coming up. But it doesn't stay forever. Don't you think that one time and it's forever? I think it's 3 or 4 times to keep it for 1 month.
Okay, but if you want to, that exists. What are the most popular treatments that people want to do?
Now when the summer is over, I think the micro needling, it will be popular.
Okay, what's micro needling?
Oh, it looks like a pen with 36 needles, and it's making like a small hole in your skin. It doesn't hurt, don't worry.
Yeah, can you see my face?
Yeah. It sounds terrible, but it's not. And then you can, depends what you need. I think you would like the vitamin C, I think, for your face. So I put the vitamin C, and it goes into your skin, and you can go to the party the same day. It doesn't show so much, but it goes in directly.
And so it like rejuvenates.
Yes, and it stimulates. What's happening is that your body sends the signal to your brain, something is going on, and we have to think about it, we have to take care of it, and that's why it works. If you just put the cream on, okay, well, it will sit there. It doesn't work this way.
And are there any magical treatments for wrinkles apart from Botox? Or is Botox the thing that everybody uses now?
The thing with the, I don't make Botox. I have nothing against it. I make fillers, and this is different.
What's the
things.
difference?
Botox is the gas. What actually?
Well, what are fillers? So to understand.
Oh, fillers.
What that is.
Fillers is, for example, if you have wrinkles here, you can't put the Botox here because then you could not move your face. You could probably even be able to talk. But fillers fill up the wrinkles you have. But if you put, everything is, what shall I say? We should not drink too much or eat too much or, I don't know, even
smoking, everything affects
everything,
it. Yeah.
Everything, yeah. So even if you are putting too much, you look good and you feel good. One day, everything will start to go down, because everything is going down. So, a little bit of everything is good. Never overdo it.
I like that you're stressing this point, because even though you're selling these treatments, you don't want to just give it to everybody. You want people to have what they need to be naturally beautiful.
Yeah. I actually had one client yesterday. She wants to make the bum lift, and she was not in the mood. I think it was something, I don't know if she parked the car wrong or she fight with her husband or something. She was not in the mood to do it. She was sitting and waiting, and I came with the water and I say, Fatima, you are not in the mood to do it today. Come tomorrow. And this is how I am.
Yeah, very nice. I mean, I've let you invite me to come and to the treatments, and I've really wanted to go, and I haven't managed to get there. And the last time, it was literally that. I even said to you, I've had a really long, not shitty week, but a long week. I can't. She's like, no problem. I said, but you have to come to the TV immediately, because just to get that chance to chat with you that we didn't have when we first met in the street. I was delighted that you sent me the information. Your clinic's doing very well, got very nice feedback, and I hope that I will get a chance to actually go along and
from Monday to Sunday. Just tell me the time.
Monday to Sunday.
Yeah, from 10 to 8. I just open my book and I check. Can I do it? Yes. If I can't, I will not. That's it.
Oh, and this is what you can expect when you go to visit Monique. I mean, just very humble, very simple, just a very nice young lady.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm delighted to meet you. And I know this is the first of many times, but I did want to introduce you to our audience, at least touch base, and proximamente watch this space, because you'll be seeing a lot more of Monique. Monique, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Nicole.
And thank you guys for joining us. It's been a lot of fun meeting the guests. Everybody with such interesting things going on. Alan Boardman there with Valerie Williams, and they're trying to raise funds with Simply Surviving Group, ever such a good incentive that we can all learn from. Everyone can arrange and organise a charity event for your particular favourite charity. And then for Kezia Kaur coming to join us, talking about well-being, but also about their fabulous restaurant, Rendezvous. And remember, Kezia will be talking at our United Nationalities of Marbella Summit. And one of the main themes this year is people who feel vulnerable, suicidal tendencies, and getting a helpline, enough languages to be able to help the people who may need it, amongst other things. Watch this space. Monique, thank you very much. You all take care of yourselves. Be nice to each other. Y nos vemos otra vez la semana que viene. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye. Take care for now.
We are all the same. So much trouble.